What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.
Welcome to Exposé. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. And we are dealing with DATIISS, the cause of disease. DATIISS. I believe the information you have received so far have been very, very useful to you in understanding how diseases start in the body from the natural health standpoint. Deficiencies can cause disease symptoms and diseases. Abuses can cause disease. Toxicity can cause disease. Injury can cause disease. By now you understand the different types of injuries. And then infections can cause disease, as well as infestations. That's how far we have gone in the series. That is the cause of disease. The last two letters are S1 and S2, sedentary living and stress. And hopefully we can deal with that today, both of them. If you are not able to finish both of them, then maybe during the next episode, we will begin to address the other part. But let's start sedentary living. Sedentary living means when a person does not engage in physical activities. That's sedentary living. Another word that people use to describe such people is couch potatoes. People who sit down on the sofa and they have the remote control in their hands, the television is in front of them, and they are just flipping through channels. They have quite a number of assistants and lieutenants around them to give them support, wait on them, serve them. They want to drink water, they have somebody to call, give me a glass of water there. They want to drink tea, make a cup of tea for me there. They want to read a book, get me that book from my table there. They just sit down in one place, and they don't move around, no physical activity. Some people wake up in their homes, they go to the bathroom to shower, and they climb the elevator downstairs, they enter their car, they drive to the office, they park very near their office door. They enter the office or they go through the elevator upstairs to their office. They're coming back in the evening. They come through the elevator, enter the car, drive home, enter the elevator, get to the apartment. They settle down in no physical activity whatsoever. Very minimal movement. That is what we call sedentary living. Anybody who adopts such a sedentary lifestyle is violating one of the 7 major keys that we have been talking about. If you engage in sedentary living, then it's possible that you set yourself up for disease and dysfunction. So engage in physical activities. Now the activities that you're going to engage in are going to be at 3 different levels. The first one is aerobic exercises. Aerobic exercises. The second one is flexibility or stretching exercises. And the third one is resistance or weight-bearing exercises. Now, you have to do a portion of each of these to get the full benefits of exercise. Some people ask me, they say, oh, the kind of job I do, I move around a lot, I'm busy, I'm on my feet morning to night. Doesn't that make up for the exercise I should do for the day? And I tell them that what you have done is to stress yourself, not to exercise yourself. Exercise is different from stress. The fact that you are involved in activities at work or the kind of job you do is such that you are on your feet from morning till evening, that does not mean you have exercised. When you are exercising, there is a zone that you reach, particularly in your heart rate. The heart rate talks about how many times your heart beats per minute. Ideally, when you are in a state of rest, when you are not active, on the average, many people have about 72 beats per minute. Those who are very athletic, who exercise regularly, who are very fit, they exercise, their heart beats approximately, some people even as low as 40 beats per minute to 60 beats per minute. Those who are fit is usually 60 to 80 beats per minute, average 72. And those who are unfit, their heart beats approximately 80 to 100 beats per minute. And those whose heart beats 100 to 120 beats per minute or higher are a disaster waiting to happen. Apart from children. Children's heart beats much faster than adults. Once you're an adult, the average is about 72 beats per minute. And so when you're exercising, you reach the aerobic zone where your heart is beating at a certain rate. That's when you begin to get the benefit of aerobic exercise. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly. It is for brethren to dwell together in unity. We're looking at blessedness, the blessedness of synergizing, of unity, of cooperation, of collaboration, of building synergy based on the love of Christ. Welcome back to Exposé. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. We're talking about sedentary living as number 6 cause of disease. In other words, you need to engage in physical activities if you want to maintain good health. I have a coach, a fitness coach, that coached me and trained me and showed me how to do exercises. One of these days, I hope I can bring him on Exposé so you can hear from the horse's mouth. He has a PhD in exercise physiology from the United States of America. He has coached several sports teams in Nigeria and athletes and sportsmen around the world. He's a professional. He has paid his dues, and he's very good at what he does. We'll be honored to have him on board on Exposé one of these days. I'll let you know when he comes on board. But then we're talking about 3 categories of exercises, aerobic exercises in particular. And we're saying that the fact that you are busy doesn't mean you're exercising. You are just stressed when you are busy. And when you're exercising, you do it in such a way that your heart rate goes up to the aerobic zone, where it begins to be 120 beats per minute, 140 beats per minute, 150 beats per minute. That is the aerobic zone. And you don't overdo it so that you don't cross to the anaerobic zone. Once you get to the anaerobic zone, it becomes counterproductive. You are no longer benefiting. Now you are burning fuel anaerobically. You are no longer using oxidation phosphorylation to convert glucose to adenosine triphosphate or ATP. You are now using a fermentation process because of oxygen deprivation, because you are now in anaerobic zone when you overdo your exercise. We call it aerobic because it utilizes oxygen, and that is the healthy zone. And you sustain that heart rate in that aerobic zone for a reasonable length of time, at least 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. You can also do a kind of intermittent exercises where you do very intensive exercise for about 2 minutes, and then you rest for about 1 minute or 2 minutes, and then you do another intensive, and then you rest. Those are called intermittent, exercises. That also benefits you enormously. So you do aerobic, and then you do stretching, where you do all kinds of stretches, different types of stretches, so that all your joints are flexible. Those are called flexibility exercises. Your exercise or fitness coach will put you through all the different styles, the techniques to enjoy flexibility, so you don't sprain your joints, your ankles, you don't cause yourself injury. Once they have put you through the routine and taught you, then you can do it on your own, at home, on the floor, in your sitting room, in your bedroom, or anywhere else for that matter. Okay? And then you do weight-bearing exercises to help build your muscles, strengthen your bones, because you see, the weight in your body has 4 components. You have bone weight, then you have muscle weight, then you have fat weight, then you have water weight. So you want to build your weight from your bones and your muscles in particular, not from fat. Some people are very fat and the bulk of what they have in their body is just fat. That is unhealthy. But when the bulk of what you have in your body is bone and muscle, wow, that's fitness, okay, to a large extent. Of course, there are many other factors incorporated into fitness. It's not just your macho look or your muscular body build that makes you fit. There are many, many other factors, but that's part of it. When you have the right body composition. Again, I'm going to do a series on the benefits of exercises later. Today, I'm just doing a kind of introduction to it because we are learning that lack of exercise or lack of physical activity can be a contributor to disease. So if you don't want disease to develop, you need to incorporate regular, moderate exercise into your daily routine. You don't have to do it 7 days a week. It depends on your schedule. But the minimum is 3 days a week, minimum. If you can do 5 days a week, better. And if you can do 7 days a week, why not? But minimum 3 days, and each day you spend at least 30 minutes. That is about 90 minutes per week. That's good. And in the 30-minute period, you do the 3 categories of exercises. You do aerobic exercises, you can do skipping rope, and so on and so forth. Or you can get an exercise video and play it and just follow the coach as they are going through the different techniques, and you follow them. And then you also do stretching or flexibility exercises, and then you do weight-bearing or strength exercises to develop stamina and develop ability, to stay steady and stay strong for a long time. So once you engage in all of that, that's what we call regular, moderate exercise. Now, the best form of exercise, moderate exercise for everybody, for those who are not impaired, is walking, brisk walking. You don't have to jog, you don't have to run, you don't have to be aggressive as if you are going to the Olympics. You are not competing with anybody, you are competing with yourself. If you have never been exercising in your life, don't just jump on the train and begin to exercise 30 minutes a day, 1 hour a day. You can injure yourself. What you do is you start small and build up gradually. You can do 5 minutes every day for 1 week. Your body will start adjusting. You might feel some soreness, some aches and pains in different places. It will disappear after some time. It is the buildup of lactic acid that is causing such things in your body. But the moment you get used to it and you learn how to dissipate lactic acid from your system very quickly, then you can cope. The soreness will disappear. Okay? After 1 week of 5 minutes daily, then you can graduate to 10 minutes. Then you can graduate to 15 minutes. And you build up like that until you can attain 30 minutes, probably 45 minutes or 1 hour. And 3 times a week to 5 times a week. And that's good for you to maintain health and fitness, not to go to the Olympics. Of course, if you want to go to the Olympics, you take it to another level. You need a coach to put you through that. But we're talking about exercise for wellness and well-being. And there are myriads of benefits that you derive when you exercise. Apart from disease prevention, it also helps in adding value to your life. We're going to be looking at all of that when I do the series on exercises. So, we're looking at sedentary living as the 6th cause of disease in the natural health domain. And we want everyone to bear in mind that you cannot afford not to engage in physical activity. If you know how to swim, wonderful. Go get swimming regularly. If you don't know how to swim, there is always a form of exercise that is suitable for everybody. If you go on YouTube and you check out for different types of exercises, aerobic exercises, stretching exercises, strength or weight-bearing exercises, you will see all of these various techniques. You can use, I saw somebody who did a video and used toilets, tissue paper, the roll, the entire roll, several of them, and he used it to exercise. Some even sat on the chair and they were making different moves and different techniques to exercise. Anybody, even those who are on wheelchair, can find some ways to exercise different parts of their bodies. Deep breathing is another form of exercise where you breathe in and then out. Then in, you hold it there, and then out, and all of that. Then when you want to exercise, you start, you warm up, and then you do the exercise, and then you wind down, and you have different patterns that you follow. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly, and then we will have the concluding session of today's conversation. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, and the best prescription is knowledge.
I believe you've been having a terrific time with me on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. We have great resources that will bless your life available to you on healthy living and many other life subjects. We have various platforms where you can obtain materials for your blessing. You can obtain some of our work, our books, particularly on Amazon.com. How to Regain and Retain Your Health is a book title that I highly recommend. It's available in digital format, Kindle edition, as well as in printed version. We also have juices and smoothies for healing, health, and pleasure. You can also find these items at another website, familabooks.com, F-A-M-I-L-A books.com. And for those of you who are in Nigeria, you can reach us at the Shepherd Store, 18 Shogunle Street, off Mobolaji Bankantoni Way, behind HFS Place, to get our materials. We have over 600 recorded audio CDs, DVDs, VCDs, and MP3s on various subjects. All these things that I teach on Exposé are already available in their complete format. How to reverse hypertension naturally, how to reverse diabetes naturally, how to reverse arthritis naturally, and many other wonderful titles. I encourage you to visit this website, Amazon.com, familabooks.com, or TSF bookstores in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, and you will be blessed reading those materials and sharing them with your friends and family. Thank you once again. God bless you.
Welcome back to Exposé, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. I'm so delighted to be able to bring to you information for your transformation on a weekly basis. We've been looking at this very interesting series, that is the cause of disease, or that is the cause of disease. Deficiencies, abuses, toxicity, injury, infection, and now we're talking about sedentary living. And in the next episode, we'll be talking about stress as a contributing factor to disease. You see, in the 28th century, or probably even the 19th century, the major thing that confronted the world, that the world grappled with in the area of public health was infections. All kinds of infections, and they were looking for solutions. Penicillin, antibiotic, all of those remedies were developed, particularly during the early part of the 20th century, late part of the 19th century to the early part of the 20th century. And then as we began to come to the end of the 20th century, the latter part of the 20th century, and we entered into the 21st century, stress took over as the major cause of disease and dysfunction, much more than infections. Until recently, when we had this Ebola outbreak and then now COVID-19 pandemic all over the world, that is when infection struggled to come to the forefront again as the major contender. But before we had this pandemic, the major contender, the number one contender for causing disease and dysfunction in the human body, particularly in city dwellers, is stress. And that's why in our next episode, we'll be doing that. I want you to invite your friends and share these videos with your colleagues and neighbors and tell them to join us every Monday, West African time, on Exposé, where we are exposing, revealing, unveiling, and sharing nuggets of health information for your health transformation. Now, we are talking about sedentary living today as number 6 factor in the series on DATIISS. Sedentary living means you are not physically active enough or sufficiently or not at all. Let me emphasize once again that the secret or one of the secrets of health and wellness is movement. I've talked about the movement of food through the mouth all the way to the anus, how that if it goes out of the anus less than 16 hours, that's too rapid. And if it stays longer than 24 hours, that is getting too long. Now, the other movement that supports health is the movement of blood around the body. Good blood circulation. Your blood is what distributes food and nutrients around the body. So when there is good blood circulation, there is good food distribution. The second thing that blood does is to remove waste from the body. So when there is sluggish circulation, there is sluggish waste removal. So you can see how everything ties together. So movement is one of the keys to longevity, keys to wellness, keys to health. Movement of food through the mouth to the anus, movement of blood around the body. The third type of movement is the movement of your lymph. As your lymph circulates around your body, that supports your health. And the fourth type of movement is your own physical body movement through exercise, regular exercise, walking, exercising. When you do all these forms of movements, it helps to support your health. So once again, all the things we've been learning, I encourage you to put them into practice, because knowing them without deploying them is not beneficial. What we call wisdom is the timely and correct application of knowledge. When knowledge is applied correctly and in a timely fashion, then that is what we call wisdom. But if you have knowledge, you have information, and you are not deploying it, you are not benefiting from the knowledge you have, that's stupidity. That's not wisdom. I believe that you are wise, and I believe that what you have learned so far, you will deploy. Put it into practice. And I'll be very glad to hear feedback from you, particularly in this series, since we started with deficiencies. I want you to send me your questions. I want you to write in the chat room your feedback, your observations, your questions, and what have you. I'll be very glad to respond to them. And also let me know if there are areas that you'd like me to cover in the future. I want you to also suggest such areas. And then we will look at all the suggestions that are coming, and that will probably guide us to know the next area that are relevant to you that we can talk about. Don't forget that what we need is not more medication, but more education. And the best prescription is knowledge. Exposé is a platform that is set out as a knowledge-based platform. I want to encourage you to join us every Monday, Nigerian time, 8 p.m. every Monday on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as on YouTube. And share this also with your friends and colleagues. Invite them to join us every Monday. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, whichever platform you are very conversant with and familiar with. Join us on that platform. You also can come back to YouTube and check our playlist, check our archives, and find past editions and episodes. And you can always revisit them. If you miss any episode, it will always be waiting for you. You can watch it later on. But follow the series and deploy them. And if you know people around you that need such information, help them to get access to this information. And at the end of the day, you'll be helping somebody. It's a collective effort. We are putting this out there as part of our corporate social responsibility. And I believe you will lend us a hand by helping us to extend this to your friends and to those in your circle of influence. You'll be helping somebody to bounce back from disease or to prevent illness, to live long, to deliver everything God has invested into them before they depart this world. And above all, we want you to continue to pray for us, pray with us, and that means a lot to us. We believe in God, we believe in prayers, and as the saints of God particularly pray for us, we believe that that goes a long way in supporting this work and this ministry that we do. Also, go on Amazon.com, Famila Books, Okada Books, and get our books, download our books on how to regain and retain your health, Food for Thought, Volume 1, Food for Thought, Volume 2, How to Lower Cholesterol Without Medication, Juices and Smoothies, Nut Milk for Healing, Health, and Pleasure, and God's Top Priorities for You. So many of them. We have about 27 healthy living newsletters to date. We have over 600 recorded DVDs, audio CDs, MP3s. All of these resource materials are available at our bookshop in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. You can reach us. I will be very glad to supply you these materials that will be a blessing to you. Thank you once again. It's been a lovely evening, and I do wish you a very wonderful night rest today. God bless you, and bye-bye.